Welcome back to Live from My Basement. I'm your host, Lauren Washington, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a film. Are you ready for some real talk? Acting isn't nearly as easy as everyone seems to think it is. So join me and my friends in my basement as we talk about the ups, the downs, the pretty, the ugly, and all the things in between on our journey to making it big. It'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, and it might even make you question your life choices. Right from the comfort of my not-so-glamorous basement, this is Live from My Basement with Lauren Washington. So first, we gotta start off and support the arts. What am I reading, what am I watching, and what am I listening to? I am reading Crucial Conversations, Tools for Talking When Stakes Are High, 3rd edition by Joseph Graney. I am watching Yellowstone, but mostly just clips of Beth from Yellowstone. I've actually only watched one full episode of Yellowstone, and it was from like the 4th season of it, and it was because I was somewhere and somebody had a friend that was in that episode, and so I watched that one episode, but I've never actually watched a full episode of Yellowstone. But like the compilations of Beth are just really good, so that's what I've been watching, mostly just Beth Dutton on Yellowstone. I might watch a whole episode, but who knows. And then I am listening to Talent Agent Talk with Jason Lockhart from the Get Seen podcast umbrella, and also Swell Entertainment with Amanda on Spotify. So definitely give those two things a listen. They're really, really good. Now, on to today's topic. I am going to teach you how to make a film, and I'm going to teach you how to draw a pig. Now, what do those two things have to do with each other? I can absolutely answer that question. I see you, little birds. I'm going to feed you. I believe as actors, we get caught up on our first film being iconic and amazing and creative and all of these things. And so we almost get this paralysis where we go, if I can't make a good film or a great film or an iconic film, then I can't make any film. But we forget that we have to start somewhere. We have to start with just a film. And I think the important thing that I'm going to teach you today is not how to make a good film. Realize I didn't say how to make a great film. I didn't say how to make a memorable film. I didn't even say how to make a fantastic film. How to be a great film writer. How to be a great director. None of that. We're taking the qualifiers out. We don't care about good, bad, great, whatever. We're just going to make a film. These are things that if you wanted to, you could listen to this podcast right now and go and do them, and it would take no prep, it would take no money, it would just be a film that you did. It won't have to say anything, you don't have to get any extras, you don't have to call anyone, you will just have made a film. Not good, not bad, just a film that you can look at and say, I made that, so I can make something else. And we can talk later about what makes a good film, what makes a great film, what makes a memorable film, about character development, about storylines, about shot lists. We can have all of those conversations. But we're going to get lost if we don't just make a film first. So how does that connect to drawing a pig? I don't know if anyone ever had the assignment in middle school or kindergarten or high school even, where somebody told you draw a thing. A horse, a pig, a turkey. Somebody told you draw this thing, and you drew it, and it didn't look anything like anybody else's, but your parents were still very proud of you, and they hung it up on the fridge, or they kept it in a box that you now look back and you're like, why did you keep this random piece of construction paper? I am going to teach you how to draw a pig, and it is not going to look like anybody else's pig. The same way that even when I give you this film prompt and the specific scenes that you should do, it is not going to look like anybody else's. Because we have to stop comparing ourselves. We have to stop comparing ourselves to each other and saying, well, somebody else already had that idea, so that means that I can't have that idea too. That's not true. I don't think you should steal a movie word for word. I absolutely think that that's a bad idea. However, Twilight and all of its spin-offs and fan fictions didn't get created because somebody thought to themselves, well, this idea already happened, so it can't happen again. That would be ridiculous. Everything that has ever been created is a spin-off or a recreation or an amalgamation or inspired by or a reference to something else. Art is just, it's that way. It is the highest form of flattery for your art to be referenced. Like I said, you should not steal a movie word for word. You should not steal a show shot for shot. But you can reference things and people will just like those things. Like Agatha All Along has several references to old horror movies, old films, and we love it. I love watching YouTubers point out all of the old references to all of the old stuff. The Sabrina Carpenter taste video was clearly referencing Death Becomes Her. And nobody went, she stole Death Becomes Her, because it was a clear reference that they were making in order to make a fun video. You can do that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we're going to talk about the fact that everybody started somewhere. Think of your favorite director, or even just a director that you really like the movies of. And then Google what their first film was. I can guarantee you it's probably still out there, and I can guarantee you that it probably wasn't all that good. If it was good, I mean, absolutely. I love it. I love to see it. But if it was bad, it was bad. Google your favorite artist. Look back at their first film. Watch it, because that's where they started, and now they are where they are because that's how they started. And it probably wasn't a blockbuster film. It was probably something very normal. It was probably them goofing around with some friends and then posting that thing on YouTube, and now they're a big famous actor. And I'm not saying that everybody's going to end up like that. It is a exciting world that also requires a lot of patience and a lot of luck. But you are far less likely to achieve the dream of getting where you want, whether that's A-list or just making money as an artist or whatever that is, if you're never putting your art out there. If no one's ever seeing you on screen, if no one's ever watching films that you're in, you're far less likely to get quote-unquote discovered. You're far less likely to feel like an artist if you're not doing the work that is required of an artist. So first, we're gonna have a little lesson. I want you to draw a pig. Essentially, all a pig is a big circle with, let's say, 3 little circles in it, and then 3 little circles in one of those little circles. You can draw a little line in there if you want the pig to have a mouth. You can give it 2 big ears or 2 little ears, doesn't matter. You can give it a body, and you can give it 4 legs. And then you can give it a little tail. Draw a pig. Draw a pig, make it look nice. You could decorate it a little bit, cover it in, but you've drawn a pig. You could take 30 seconds and draw a pig. At the end of this, I'm going to show you my pig, and then I want you to look at my pig and think about the fact that it probably doesn't look anything like your pig, and that doesn't make my pig worse, and it doesn't make your pig worse. It makes our pigs our pigs. That's how I want you to look at this film prompt. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a shot list. With that shot list, I want you to make a film. And then I want you to post that film. I don't know if you want to post it to YouTube, if you want to post it to Instagram. I don't care. I just want you to post that film. And then in the description, tag Live from My Basement. You can tag me personally. Absolutely. So, first shot. I want you to go and find a stuffed animal. It could be any stuffed animal. It could be a toy. Just find a toy. If it has eyes, even better. If it doesn't matter. I just want you to go and find a toy. I want you to set up your phone or your camera or whatever your recording device is. And I want you to film yourself in your clothes that you have on now, making your bed, and then placing that toy in the center of your bed. Now, I want you to do that 5 more times. Change clothes, not hard. Doesn't matter what you're wearing. You should look as normal as possible. You don't have to do your makeup fancy. You don't have to do anything. Just set it up, keep the camera in the exact same place, and the next 5 shots are you making your bed and then putting that toy in the exact same place. This is what we call a montage. We are setting the scene. We are giving that toy backstory. We know, as the audience, from seeing you make that bed and put that toy down, that you love that toy. That toy is a staple on your bed. Now, moving on from the montage. The next scene. I want you to make your bed. And instead of putting that toy in its place, I want you to pick up that toy, look at it, and put it to the side. It can be on a nightstand. It can be on a dresser. The shot is of you picking up the toy and looking at it, and then deciding not to put it in its place on the bed. Now, the audience is left to infer that you've grown out of this toy. There's something about this toy that you don't feel you need anymore. Wherever you put that toy, on the dresser, on your nightstand, I want you to film another montage of you piling things on that toy. It can be leftover clothes. It could be other books. It could be surrounding the toy with hair care products. It could be the toy getting knocked off of wherever you put it and landing on the floor and things piling up in there. That is your third scene. So you've had a montage, a scene of you making the bed, picking up the toy, putting the toy to the side, and then another montage of that toy slowly being forgotten. Everybody still with me? Now, I want you to film a scene, and I want it to be of you cleaning up that space. And I want you to look at the toy, think about it, and then I want you to put it in a box marked donations, with just a couple of other random things. You're not actually donating anything. Don't worry. I won't make you take it to Goodwill. You don't have to film in public. None of that. I want you to take a box. I want you to write donations in big old letters. You can put donations on a piece of paper in big old letters with a black marker and stick it to the side of a box if you don't want to write on a box. But on a box marked donations, I want you to load up all of your things into a box. Now, all you need is a quick scene of you pushing the box into the back seat or into the trunk, closing the door. If you don't have a car, you can move the scene to the basement. Pick up that box, put it to the side. Now, we have a little time lapse. I just want you to time lapse it for a minute and a half and show that box sitting in your basement. It depends on which one you want to do. You're fine. We're wrapping it up. So, now you've had a montage. You've had toy gets moved from the bed scene. You've had another montage of the toy being forgotten. You've had a cleanup scene where you've put the toy in a donations box. You've either put the toy in the backseat of a car or in your trunk, or you've put the box in the basement. Next scene. Different clothes for all of these scenes. I need you to put effort into putting together different outfits. That is the only thing you have to do. Different clothing. You can have a time lapse of the box sitting in the back of your car as well. Now, next scene, I need you to find that box. I need it to be a surprise. Oh, I completely forgot I left this down here. That's crazy. I haven't seen this box in forever. I should go through it before I donate. You don't have to say anything in this movie. That is the beauty of it. This is going to be a short, and it's going to be completely about what music you put behind it and your facial expressions. You don't have to write dialogue. You don't have to add characters. It's just you finding your toy. You're going to find this donation box in this scene. You're going to open it as if to go through it, make sure that there's nothing in there that you might have wanted. We all have that moment of like, oh, I'm donating this. I should probably make sure that it's not something that I suddenly needed in the last month or two. You're going to go through it. You're going to pick up the toy. You're going to see it. And you're going to think about it. And I want you to go back in your mind as the character, because you don't have to film this part. You don't have to film a bunch of scenes of you playing with the toy from before. We've already seen that toy had a special place in your heart from when you put it on the bed. I want you to look at the toy, and I want you as the actor to see it and then decide that you're going to put it back on your bed. And then for your very last scene, I want you to make your bed. I want you to put the toy back in its center place on the bed. And here's where you can choose. You can either go from a wide shot and push into a close-up on the toy, or you can go from the toy into a wide shot of the bed and then clip to black. And that's the end of the movie. Credit yourself. That's it. You wrote it. You directed it. You starred in it. You did sound. You did all of it. And then you put it into your film editor of choice. You cut those together. You put a nice little soundtrack behind it. And you have a movie. And the movie's shot. You've made a movie. You've gotten rid of the fear of, what if my characters aren't good enough? What if my acting isn't good enough? What if I'm letting down the people that are helping me? You have officially made a movie. Now, how long it is going to depend on how much time you put into it. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. If you want to color grade it, practice color grading. If you want to slap a filter on that thing and press upload, I love it. All that I ask is that at the end of it, you have a movie. You don't have to do anything special with it, but you can. If something comes to you, if you're like, this scene would make this more interesting, do that. But don't let the fear of it stop you. Don't worry so much about the scene that you don't do it at all. If you need just a step-by-step of the shot list to make the movie, just do the step-by-step that I gave. If you're like, I feel like the story would be better if I added this, do that. But if it starts to get overwhelming because you can't get the shot, cut it and just do the shot list. Once you have made the movie, you have gotten rid of what I believe artists call the white space, which is when you get a blank canvas and you're so scared of messing it up that you don't want to put anything on it. You just have to throw paint on the canvas. Throw black paint, throw red paint, throw blue paint. It's all going to get covered up anyway. But now you're far less concerned about messing up a nice canvas because there's already stuff on it. Same thing with this movie. I have already given you the shot list. The canvas is already colored. You can do whatever you want with that shot list. You can change it, you can cut it, you can move it around, you can add, you can subtract, it does not matter. But you have the shot list, the canvas is already colored on. So now all you have to do is make the movie. It'll take maybe an hour of your day. It might take a little bit longer if you're being creative. It might take a little bit less if you're like, I'm banging out these shots as quick as possible. But I want you to ask yourself, what would this look like if it were easy? What would it look like if it were simple? What would it look like if it were fun? And I want you to take that and I want you to do it. What is the easiest way that you could do this thing? And then I just want you to do it. And if the easiest way for you to do that is to just follow my specific shot list, which I will have structured out and ready for you to download in the description, that is what you do. You just follow the shot list completely, and then you're done. And I guarantee you, I know you're saying, yeah, but if you're telling this to a bunch of people, obviously all of our movies are going to look the same and people are going to think that we stole them. I promise you they're not. Everybody's going to pick a different toy. They're going to be different people. Unless you are going and personally starring in everyone's short film, they're going to be different simply because you're in them. Everyone's going to pick a different toy. Everyone's going to write donations differently. Everyone's going to do their montages differently. Everyone's going to do their time lapses differently. Everyone's going to decide to put their toy in a different place. They're going to put it on the nightstand, on the dresser. It's going to fall under the bed. It's going to roll away. It doesn't matter. You are all going to make it different because you are different people. And once it's done, post it. Post it and then share it with your friends, share it with your family. Tell them, I made this thing and I want you to see it. And it does not matter if they like it or not. It does not matter if they say this is the greatest movie ever. It doesn't matter if they laugh. It doesn't matter if they cry. It just matters that you make it. And then the next film, you can start adding dialogue. It doesn't have to be the best dialogue in the world. Just have your actor say it. If your actor is you, just say the dialogue. It could be completely improv. There are people who have been in blockbuster films who talk about whole scenes that are completely improv. They just have fancy cameras and they happen to be really good at improv. But you, through the magic of editing, can improv an entire scene and that be your dialogue. And technically, it was written by you and whoever you were improving with. Now, you've written, directed, produced, and starred in an entire film. Isn't that exciting? You did it! And then you're done. Hey, y'all. I hope you're enjoying this podcast. And if you're an actor, I want to make sure that you have all the information that I wish I had when I was starting out. So, if you're looking for detailed first steps, you can click the link in the description and it'll take you to my How to Get Started checklist, a totally free PDF that'll give you 10 actionable steps to get you ahead in the game. And if you want more tips and tricks on how to be successful in all parts of this industry, you can sign up for my newsletter in the description, or you can go to my website at laurenelizabethwashington.com. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast, and let's get on with the show. But this is my pig. I'm gonna name him Anthony. This is Anthony, my pig. And I want to leave you with a little exercise I like to do when I am hitting a creative block. I want you to ask people to give you a genre, an object, and a location. And then I just want you to write a story about it. And it doesn't have to be this incredible story, although it could be. It is just to get the creative juices flowing. You will be so focused on fitting that salt shaker into your horror story based in the Georgia aquarium that you will not be thinking to yourself, how do I make this a great story? Because I believe that this idea of perfection and greatness is the crux, is not the crux, is the Achilles heel to creativity. Wanting something to be great so badly that you're not willing to do it until it's perfect. Perfection is the enemy of productivity or the enemy of creativity. It is the last thing you need to worry about. And that is how you do creativity. You just create until something feels so good that you want to film it, and then you film a bunch of stuff until something is so good that people pick it up and it goes everywhere. And you never know what that thing is going to be. But you catch way more fish if you put out 5 lines than you do if you put out 0. So, with that I say, as always, my name is Lauren. I am your host. This is live from my basement. I know you have a lot of options when listening to podcasts, so I'm so glad you chose mine. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them down in the comments. If you drew a good pig, send it to me. If you liked it, tell a friend. If you didn't like it, don't tell nobody. And as always, if I don't see you next time, I hope I see y'all soon. Y'all have a good one. Bye.